We're here live at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium, where we are bringing you Game 3 today, Game 15 overall in the FCSAA Region 8 State Baseball Tournament. I'm Chris Valentine for the FCSAA YouTube channel. The away team is going to be Chipola. The home team is Palm Beach State. Let me go ahead and read you off the lineup for Chipola. Batting first, playing second, Jose Caballero. Batting second, DHing, Jacob Silverstein. Batting third, playing third, Andrew Bechtold. Batting fourth, playing first, Ronaldo Rivera. Batting fifth, catching, Max Guzman. Batting sixth, playing right, Brody Wofford. Batting seventh, playing left, Taquan White. Batting eighth, playing short, Trey Dawson. And batting ninth, playing center, Edmund Americon. Pitching for Chipola is number 27, Bowden Francis. And the Palm Beach State lineup reads this. Batting first, playing first, Balin Sparks. Batting second, playing left, James Buckley. Batting third, playing short, Matt Morales. Batting fourth, playing third, Evan Mork. Batting fifth, playing right field, Derek Schwimmer. Batting sixth, playing center field, Joendrick Donchi. Batting seventh, DHing, Drexler McKay. Batting eighth, catching, Benito Varela. And batting ninth, playing second base, Swinley Lint. And pitching today for the Panthers, number 29, Chris Kachmar. Thank you for joining us here today. It's been an honor calling all these games for you. And we continue to call games for you. We will continue to be here until Wednesday, where we will declare a champion. The winner of this game, actually, will move on to a spot in the championship game. Joining me right now is Scott Jamison, the Assistant Athletic Director at Santa Fe College. How you doing, Scott?
Great, Chris. Thank you.
Leading off, number 7, Jose Caballero for Chipola. That is going to stay in, and that's a foul out. Foul pop fly by Caballero to start off this game.
Well, one pitch, one out. Caballero's an aggressive hitter. You know, he goes up there wanting to swing the bat. He's a really good hitter, and they're able to get him out on one pitch. So that's always a big, big thing, keeping Caballero off base, especially when he leads an inning off. He has speed. He can change the game. He can impact it in so many different ways.
And you can say he's a great hitter to about 7 or 8 of these 9 starters for Chipola.
And probably 9, to be honest with you.
Probably all 9, yes.
On any given day, they could all be the 3-hole hitter for a lot of different teams. And, you know, pitching is a strength of Palm Beach. They showed that yesterday against Santa Fe. They just really dominated, especially after the 5th inning. They fell behind early. Their bats got them back into it, and they were able to squeak out a 1-run win in 11 innings.
There's a strike called. 1-2 the count now to Jacob Silverstein, the DH. Pitching for Palm Beach, Chris Kachmar. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. Outside, 2-2 the count now. And the way this tournament is set up, I said it just a second ago, the winner of this game will move on to the championship game. They will get a spot playing for the state championship. As Jacob Silverstein swings through that pitch, and Benito Varela will throw down to first to finish off the strikeout.
Well, Chipola 42-8, coming in at .354 average, 442 runs in 50 games. They get on base better than 46% of the time. They slug .560 as a team. They've hit 64 home runs. You know, the list goes on. It's going to be a tough challenge for Palm Beach, but I think they have the pitching to give Chipola everything they can handle.
And at bat now, the third baseman, Andrew Bechtold. Andrew Bechtold finished the regular season batting .445, and he had a on-base percentage of over .560.
Not bad.
Not a bad season. Little room to improve.
Yeah, I guess.
But
not much.
You can always get it to to 50-50.
There you go.
And he takes that swing over to shortstop, and in time is the throw. Good throw there by Matt Morales. That'll end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Indians. I haven't said that all tournament, I don't think.
Not much, if anything.
And good showing by Chris Kachmar as he gets these Indians in order. We'll be right back to bring you the bottom half of the first. And we're back here bringing you the bottom half of the inning. Chipola sat down in order in the top half of this first. Palm Beach will look to take advantage. Maybe put a couple of runs on the board against a very good Chipola pitcher, Bowden Francis.
Yeah, Francis is a stud in every sense of the word. A 1.73 ERA, 11-2 record. Started 11 games, 2 complete games. This is his 16th appearance. He has a save, 67 strikeouts, and 67 2/3 innings pitched. Just 46 hits allowed, 13 earned runs, just walked 15. Batters are hitting 187 against him. That's good, in case you were wondering. Chipola pitching staff with a team ERA of 3.60. Palm Beach team ERA of 2.92. So a sub-3 team ERA. That's what has Palm Beach right in the position that they're in. Chipola is averaging 9 runs per game on offense. So something's got to give today.
Good pitching meets very good hitting.
The opponent ERA against Chipola is 9.31. And as I said before, Palm Beach has a team ERA sub-3. So one of these teams is going to have to break through against the other team's strength. And we'll see which direction it goes as this game wears on. Again, still early, just bottom of the first. Palm Beach was able to do something not many teams have done in this tournament, if at all. 1-2-3. Caballero through to Beckhold. 1-2-3. And Rivera will lead off the next inning, and he hit the farthest home run of the tournament so far.
By far. Balin Sparks, a very good hitter in his own right. Batted .398 on the season. He fouled the pitch off his leg. But he's back in there. He's worked the count full.
Yeah, 80 hits, 17 doubles. A lot of speed. That one's hit well, tailing away from the center fielder. The right fielder back, not able to make the catch over his head off the fence. It's going to be at least 2, and it's going to be 3. The helmet comes off. He's going to go all the way into third base. He'll slide in safely. Leadoff triple for Palm Beach.
Wow. What an attempt over there in right field by Brody Wofford. Just short on making that grab. And a great hit, great leadoff hit by the first baseman, Balin Sparks. Not every day you see a first baseman get a triple.
That was a heck of an effort by the right fielder. Wow.
And I think I've seen more triples in this tournament by catchers and first basemen than I have any other position.
Yeah,
like all the other positions combined.
And just triples in general in this tournament because of the fact of how big the gaps are. You're talking 420 in center field, 340 down the lines. That one hit out to center.
That will probably score Sparks.
That will get the run in easily and a 1-0 lead.
And Palm Beach takes a 1-0 lead on Chipola.
Palm Beach draws first blood, and we'll see. Now, the team that scored first hasn't always been successful in this tournament. That doesn't equal out to a win, but it does put pressure on the other team and a guy like Bowden Francis, who doesn't give up a lot of runs. He's only given up, so far this year, 21 total and just 13 earned runs. So that's just his 14th earned run of the season.
And you know what they say about aces? You got to hit them early.
Yes, you do. You're exactly right, because they will get into their zones and get into their rhythm. So you're right. You got to get to them in the first couple innings.
After that, they settle down. They become comfortable. Then they throw what they want, when they want, where they want it. That pitch inside.
Well, Bowden was very frustrated after that triple. He's got to get composed right here. It was good contact by the second hitter in the lineup, too, and now he's 2-0 to the number 3 hitter, so he's got to gain back that composure. Pitch low and away. Now 3-0.
Not a position that we've really seen Bowden Francis in throughout the season. Not only giving up a run early, but pitching behind. This Chipola team, like you said, averages 9 runs a game. You can't say that about too many teams.
No.
And swung on hit to second. Caballero on with the throw to Rivera. That will retire Morales. 2 away for the third baseman, Evan Morick.
The third baseman, Evan Morick, is a .383 hitter, 4 doubles, 59 hits, 23 RBI. So not a lot of power, but he does have the ability to get on base. And he does that at a .431 clip. Walked just 10 times, but does have 59 hits.
He only struck out 19 times on the season. Good numbers for a guy who gets up so much. And he grounds out over to Trey Dawson. That'll end the inning. Palm Beach puts 1 on the board against Chipola. We'll be right back in the top half of the second, see if Chipola's high-powered offense can't put a couple on the board. And we're back here in the top half of the second, and leading off for Chipola, the man who hit probably the longest home run I've seen in person, Ronaldo Rivera. He hit that last night against Miami-Dade, and I believe it was the top of the 7th inning to make it 10-0, which ended up being the 10-run rule after 7.
Well, he is prone to striking out. This Chipola team themselves are fairly prone to striking out, but that tends to be the case when you hit a lot of home runs. You're going to strike out a little bit more.
You're going to try to swing a little bit too hard
to put the ball in play. Rivera struck out his first 5 at-bats of the tournament. Has turned it around.
Takes that pitch inside, 1-2, 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Came about 3 inches from his wrist. And he takes that pitch outside. Wow. 2-2.
Just missed.
Just off the plate.
Well, Cashmar comes in with a 2.82 ERA, a 3-2 record. Doesn't say how many he started because they don't have any games in there for starting pitchers.
And that one is hit deep. And the right center there to make the catch is Donchi, Joendrick Donchi.
That one just hung up there for him, and he was able to get underneath it. Nice play by the center fielder. Cashmar, 44 strikeouts in 54 and a third innings coming into the game. So not a lot of strikeouts. He relies on really keeping the ball down, getting ground balls, and getting flyouts like that. He's not going to overpower you. He does have 90-mile-an-hour fastball or so, as we've seen, which is nothing to sneeze at. Palm Beach early 1-0 lead on the top team in the FCSAA, Chipola State College.
Max Guzman up to bat for Chipola. Takes that curveball out in the dirt. 1-0.
Chipola, the number 2 team in the nation. They received 1 vote.
There's a hard hit over the head of Morales at short. That'll be a base hit for Max Guzman. And I knew it wouldn't take too long before an Indian gets on base.
Yeah, just up and down the lineup, so dangerous. You can't. There's no break for the pitcher. You know, most teams you get down to 8 and 9, and maybe you don't have to throw your best stuff. You don't have to locate every single pitch. You can get away with some things. Against Chipola, you can't really get away with it. You can't leave the ball up. You can't make a mistake pitch. You can't hang a curveball, or you're going to pay for it.
All 9 guys on this team either have the ability to be the 3rd or 4th batter in the lineup or the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't say that about any other team, I don't think.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. But as we said before, the best talent doesn't always win this tournament. You still have to execute, and that's something Chipola has done so far. And we'll see if they can do it in this game. Palm Beach has also executed, picking up 2 big wins. And they're trying to make it 3. And, again, the winner will advance to the championship game on Wednesday with a win here today. They'll still have to play a game tomorrow against Santa Fe. Just missed outside and maybe low on that one. Tough to tell.
Up at bat right now, the speedy right fielder, Brody Wofford. I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of his relatives in the elevator of my hotel. And his little sister, as he skies that ball to center field. Under it is Donchi making the grab. I complimented his relatives on his speed, and his little sister, who was very tired at the time, looked at me and said, "I'm faster." Mm-hmm. And I told her that I loved her competitive spirit, and I can't wait to hear her name someday.
I like that.
So the Wofford bloodline, very competitive.
Yes, and very confident. You got to like it. Max Guzman at first, now 2 outs for the next Indians hitter.
Daquan White, he is Chipola's left fielder.
White's hitting .315 on the year with 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 24 runs batted in.
1-0 pitch. Taken low for a ball. 2-0 now.
He's just missing.
Just. Very.
He's right around it, and he's just missing. And that tells you that the Chipola batters have good eyes here early on in this game to let some of these pitches go. And they're just missing either off the plate or low right now. And you know what? If you're going to miss, you want to miss off the plate or low. You don't want to miss up even a little bit against a team like this.
You don't want to miss up, like you said. Definitely not. You don't want to hang anything because it might be the last time you see that ball.
Yeah, Taquan White's a guy who hit leadoff for Chipola a little bit last year, and now he's hitting down in the lineup a little bit at the 7 hole. So, like you said before, these guys can sort of hit all around the lineup. If you needed him to hit leadoff, he could.
And that's nothing against Taquan White. It just shows how
Sure.
good Jose Caballero has done this year. That pitch outside.
Just misses there, up and away. Good spot, though, on a 2-2 pitch. Now full count. Guzman at first. Yeah, and you're right. Taquan White is a really good 7-hole hitter. He's 315 is exactly what you want in a position. It's an important position because you're hitting, after the 4 or 5 hitters, they're potentially going to be on base. It's a walk. Guzman was on the move.
That's something you don't want to do against this Chipola team. We saw it last night. Miami-Dade, from our counts, we believe 19 free bases between hit batsmen and walks. I believe 12 or 13 walks and 6 hit batsmen. That's not how you win against Chipola.
Well, and that brings Trey Dawson to the plate. And I don't think he was necessarily pitching around him because you're not wanting to put a runner in scoring position. But I think he was being careful with White. You had a left-hander up there against your righty. Now you have Dawson, a guy hitting 270, doesn't handle the bat as well as a guy like Taquan White. You also get yourself a righty-on-righty matchup if you're the pitcher. So I think Palm Beach's strategy there was to just sort of nibble around the plate and see if Taquan White would go fishing for something low in the dirt, and then take your chances with Trey Dawson. And I like that strategy from Palm Beach coach Kyle Forbes.
And just to put this in perspective, Trey Dawson, the worst hitter in the starting lineup for Chipola at 270.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at all.
When he gives you tremendous defense at shortstops, you're okay with 270. It's and he'll improve as he goes through his career. He's already got stellar defense. He moved Jose Caballero off short, and that tells you how good Dawson is to move Caballero, who started shortstop last year for the Indians, over to second base.
And the Indians have 12 guys who have played 10 or more games, 2 of them being pitchers, so I'll count 10 guys who play on a consistent basis who are hitting over 300. There's a hit by Dawson. That'll score Rivera.
Well, it doesn't work out.
Sorry, Guzman.
Dawson makes him pay with the RBI single, and the score's tied up 1-1. Good piece of hitting by Dawson, staying on that one and driving it out into left field.
Edmund Americon, another speedy player. The 9-hole hitter for Chipola up at bat. He's got men on first and second. 2 outs. Swing, foul tip.
An opportunity for Americon if he can get on and get Jose Caballero up to bat with runners on base.
They could start all this over again.
He would love to do that, and if you're the Palm Beach Panthers, this is a crucial out.
Third baseman playing in. Shows you the respect that Palm Beach has for Americon's speed. He can lay down a bunt at any time. He laid down a bunt with the bases loaded last night and beat out the throw. An RBI bunt single with the bases loaded. So the infield was playing in, and he still beat it out.
That's some speed. And out of the left hand batter's box, you also get that extra little jump, and you're a few feet closer. So if you can lay down a good bunt, you can make things like that happen. And as the 9-hole hitter, you've got to be able to do that. Got to be able to get on base in a number of different ways. You're sort of like another leadoff hitter because you're setting the table for a guy like Caballero who, the way he hits, he's a 3-hole, 4-hole hitter. He has double-digit home runs. So you really want him to come to bat with runners on base.
And I've always had a great respect for 9-hole hitters because they don't get as many at-bats as the leadoff hitter as Edmund Americon strikes out swinging, but they have almost the exact same role. And they're just as crucial as that leadoff hitter because they, like you said, they are the ones who set the table for the new order.
Yeah, they've got to turn the lineup over, and that's a really important role in the team. You're exactly right, Chris.
We'll be right back in the bottom half of the second inning. Chipola has tied this game at 1. Palm Beach will look to retake their lead. And we are back here in the bottom half of the second inning. Chipola in the top half of this inning tied this game up with a couple of hits. Trey Dawson brought home Max Guzman. Now we're all square. Leading off for Palm Beach is the right fielder, Derek Schwimmer. 1-0 count to Schwimmer. Now 2-0. That pitch taken on the little bit off the plate. Schwimmer on the season hit .336. He had 46 games played, 49 hits, and 22 RBIs. And he walked 18 times. So he's a good guy at working the count, and he gets another walk.
And Francis not close with that last pitch, so 4 straight. I'll put the leadoff man on for Palm Beach. Leadoff walk, never a good thing to do. You do not want to let them get on. You may want to make them earn their way on if they're going to get on base. I want to give it to them.
Joandrick Donchi, the center fielder, up to bat now for Palm Beach. He's got Schwimmer on first. That pitch inside on the inside corner. Good curve by Francis, able to sneak that ball into the strike zone.
I think you wanted to try something else. Nothing he threw to the last batter would go across, so sometimes you just sort of place a curveball across if you can.
Sometimes you got to hit the restart button. Just change it up a little bit. Get things in your favor. And the wind hasn't picked up since the last game. That pitch, Donchi trying to bunt. He misses. He pulled back in time, though. 1-1 the count.
Well, this is stuff Palm Beach will do. They're not going to hit a bunch of home runs. They're not out here slugging the ball around like Chipola. Chipola, you'll probably see less bunts than you would from Palm Beach. Palm Beach is going to try to take advantage of when they have runners on base. They have guys that can handle the bat. I'll square again. Pulls it back outside.
Just able to pull that bat back in time.
Well, Francis doesn't want to lose him here and walk him. They're trying to give you an out. You don't want to get too cute when they're trying to give you an out. It's still early enough in the game where when they're handing you one, you take it.
And the runner's off of that. Fake bunt. Throw over by Guzman. Throw was in time, but it was wide. And he fell off the bag.
He came off the bag and got tagged.
Derek Schwimmer slid past the bag, and he was tagged out. Good heads-up play by Trey Dawson. I was looking at the wrong defensive card. Trey Dawson able to keep the tag on Schwimmer, and that's going to be a caught stealing. So 2-2 count to Donchi right now. It swung on. Bad miss. Pitch in the dirt. And Guzman will throw over to first to finish off that strikeout.
Oh, what started off as such a promising inning, now nobody on and 2 outs for Drexler McKay. It really looked like Palm Beach may get something going. He had the stolen base. He got in there. He swiped it and then came off. Just barely beat it. It was a good throw and a good tag by Chipola. And then they, in the support of the Chipola shortstop, he stayed with the play. He didn't quit on it. Yes, Trey Dawson. Thank you.
There's a fly ball. American out to get that. He makes the grab. Now we'll end the inning. After the leadoff walk, Bowden Francis battles back and sits these Panthers down in order. We'll be right back in the top half of the third inning. We'll see you then. And we are back here in the top half of the third inning. Leading off for Chipola, the second baseman, Jose Caballero. He had a pop fly out in foul territory. That was caught by Balin Sparks over at first in his first at bat, and he drives one deep into left field. Getting back there, that's off the wall. That'll be 2, maybe 3 for Caballero. He turns, he goes back to second, and he's safe. Buckley out in left field, unable to make the grab. That was off the middle of the wall. And Caballero has a leadoff double to start off the third inning. Close play there at second. Caballero rounded, thinking about going 3, but he turned back and was just in time getting back there. DH Jacob Silverstein up to bat. He struck out, swinging his first at bat. He looks to lay down a bunt, and he pulls back in time. That'll be a ball outside of the zone. 1-0. This Chipola team is very dangerous if you allow a man to get on, especially in scoring position, with no outs. So Kachmar has a tough task at hand right now. And he's down 2-0 to Silverstein. Not where you want to be. The last thing you want to do is have to throw something over the plate against a team like Chipola. And you don't want to put any extra base runners on base. So 2-0 to Silverstein after that leadoff double. That pitch taken outside and low. 3-0 now. And Kachmar in a bit of trouble right now. 3-0 pitch coming to Silverstein. And that's called for a strike. Late call by the umpire. 3-1 now.
Caught the corner.
Good pitch by Kachmar. Able to try to get back into this count. He knew he couldn't throw it over the plate. He had to catch the black of the plate. Evan Morick is in line, maybe a foot or two in front of the line. And stolen base attempt by Caballero over at third. And he's safe. Good jump.
Well, he stole that one on the pitcher.
And Silverstein has walked. So now first and third with no outs to Andrew Bechtold, one of the better hitters in the nation.
No question about that. Two of the best hitters in the country are looming. Bechtel right now and then Ronaldo Rivera on deck. This is a very dangerous situation for Palm Beach. If they can come out of here only giving up 1, I think they'd be very happy.
And you'd usually advise your pitcher to pitch away from a hitter like Bechtold. Just go to the next guy. You can't really do that in this situation.
No, and that's part of the reason that Bechtel's hitting 460 or whatever his batting average is.
446 at this moment.
That's a huge reason why he's hitting the way he is, because you have Rivera behind. So you have to throw him pitches, because if you don't, you load the bases for a guy who can hit it out of the stadium and the game is out of reach. So it's really nice to be Andrew Bechtel. Let's just put it that way.
And I just thought of this. It reminds me of the Detroit Tigers Back when they had Melky Cabrera, I keep saying Melky. When they had Miguel Cabrera and Prince Fielder, 3 and 4 in the lineup.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. And that made Prince Fielder look pretty good. Had some pretty good years. Well, they both had pretty good years because of each other, probably. Bechtel behind in the count, 1-2. And they're going to say he went around. Yes, he did. Huge, huge out.
Bechtel is out on strikes. He's over 2 today. But that brings up the power lefty, first baseman Ronaldo Rivera.
Well, the scouts love Rivera. He sort of ticks off all the boxes when you're going down what you like about a prospect. His size, his bat speed, his power, his eye.
Even his speed.
He's left-handed. He can run a little bit. And he really...
He's pretty quick for a guy who's 6'6" and 250.
I don't know if I'd call him a 5-tool because defensively, I don't know if how clean he is at first base, but he's at least a 4-tool, 3-tool type player who I think grades out pretty well when it comes to power and his overall ability. And obviously, he's had an impact. He's the state player of the year this year, was equally as good last year.
He hit 13 home runs on the season. 58 RBIs.
His RBI, his home runs led the team. His RBI tied for the lead with Bechtel. 4 players with double-digit home runs for Chipola. They're keeping a close eye on the runner at first. Don't want to let 2 runners get into scoring position. Right fielder playing deep. Left fielder playing deep, and the center fielder playing fairly deep.
Off with the pitch. Throw over to second. In there safe.
Well, a high throw. They might have had a shot at him with a better throw. That throw was high. And the shortstop doing the right thing. When he realized the throw was not going to have a chance at getting the runner, turned his attention to Caballero at third to make sure he didn't sneak home. Now 2 in scoring position for Rivera. However, he's behind in the count 1-2.
And there's a base hit in the hole between first and second. They will hold up.
Well, he hung that one up there, and Rivera mashed it out into right field, and Chipola now has a 2-1 lead.
They held up Silverstein at third. So now runners on the corners for Max Guzman.
The right fielder got a good jump on it. It was hit hard, so it got to him quickly, and a good decision by the third base coach. He'd have been thrown out at home by quite a bit, and with less than 2 outs, you're not going to take a risk and send him home.
Max Guzman, 11 home runs on the season, 43 RBIs. Batting .370.
And every one of their hitters that has double-digit home runs also has double-digit doubles. That shows you the kind of power they have.
He holds up on that high pitch, 1-0. And like you said, if Palm Beach can get out of this with 1 run, which they have given up as of right now, they'd be happy.
Check down to first, no swing, says the first base umpire. Now 2-0 to Guzman. Waiting on deck is Brody Wofford.
Wofford batted .329 on the year. That pitch fouled back into the right. 2-1 now to Guzman.
Runners at the corners. Chipola has taken the lead on an RBI single by Reynaldo Rivera. Just doing what Reynaldo Rivera does. He now leads the team in RBI with 59.
breaks the tie with Bechtold. That pitch is high and back.
Out of play. Off the roof above us.
2-2 now to Guzman.
This game started at 4:35. Wind is now blowing from left to right.
Wind has been changing all day.
About 88 degrees. Honestly, not too bad for Lakeland for May. Tomorrow is going to heat up. And then Wednesday is supposed to be a high of 96. So it's just about what it usually is at this tournament the next 2 days. It was mild weather Friday, Saturday. Yesterday it warmed up a little bit, but still wasn't terrible. Saturday was a beautiful day. It was a high of 79 or 80 on Saturday.
And they hit Guzman.
Oh, good thing he had all that armor on his left arm, so that one didn't hurt too bad. That's why you wear it.
Now, base is loaded for Brody Wofford. Brody Wofford only 5 home runs and 43 RBIs. I say only because he was tied for tied for 5th on the team in RBIs. He was tied for 5th in home runs.
Yeah, it's a good lineup. Meeting at the mound. I think that Coach Kyle Forbes is just sort of reiterating this situation, probably going over the scouting report for Wofford, letting his pitcher know, what's at stake in this inning and what he needs to do to try to get a double play right here. That's the goal, is to try to roll 2. And Wofford does have speed, so he's tougher to double up out of that left-handed batter's box than a right-handed batter would be with less speed. But if they can get one hit hard and roll 2, they can get out of this thing. Having only given up 1 run would be absolutely a victory for the Panthers.
First pitch coming to Wofford. Taken outside on the corner. 0-1. Bases are loaded. Swung on, fouled to the left side. Out of play. That one also off the roof.
Thank you to everybody for tuning in here on the FCSAA Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can get reminders for upcoming games. Just click on the little reminder button for the game. Once you've subscribed to the channel, I'll send you an email or a text and let you know when the next game is.
I believe it looks like a bell.
Is that what it is?
I think it's a bell.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like a ringing bell
right
reminder type thing. Yeah,
yep.
So just click on that and it'll remind you when the games are. Special thanks to Kelly Warren. She runs the FCSAA. A well-oiled machine. So thank you to Kelly for
That's a strikeout.
Get all this together.
That's a strikeout by.
That's a monster strikeout right there, Chris.
Very big. That's the fourth strikeout of the game for Kachmar.
And he really kept that hitter off balance, and he didn't put up too much of a fight, and starts this next hitter White off with a strike as well.
White in his first at bat drew a walk on a full count.
315 hitter.
And there's a drive in the gap, the hole between first and third, and a bobble in right field coming in to score from second.
Ronaldo Rivera sort of tumbles across home, and that one was hit 3-4 hole.
Well, when you're that big, sometimes it's hard to slide.
Oh, he tore his arm up. I can see the blood from here. Just a little scrape, nothing too bad, but
I'm sure he'll tough through it.
Oh, he'll be fine. I can guarantee you that. But same spot that Rivera hit his. Just slap a single between the 3-4 hole out into right field. The right fielder bobbled it, and if he comes up with that cleanly, they might have had a shot.
He wouldn't have had to rush the throw as bad. Could have been more on line.
White not trying to do too much. He knows with the bases loaded and 2 outs, he just needs a single. He doesn't have to do a lot. A single was going to get him 2 runs home, and that's what he did. He did his job for the Indians. First pitch up and in. Now 4-1, 5 hits for Chipola, 1 hit for Palm Beach. They scored their lone run back in the first. Still trying to get out of this jam. Chipola would love to add to their lead.
And there's a big hit into left field.
They did add to it.
And that is gone. Trey Dawson, who is the lowest average hitter on this Chipola team at 270, knocks that ball way out of here. That went about 360, hit about 3/4 of the way up. It's actually still sitting there on top of that hill, out past the left field fence. So 7-1 in the 3rd inning after a 6-run 3rd.
Well, that's how quickly it can change against Chipola. It was a 1-0, 1-1 game coming into this inning. Palm Beach had to feel pretty good. And just like that, it's 7-1, and that's what Chipola will do. They'll jump on you, and then they'll jump on you again, and they'll add more runs to it, and they'll have their number 8 hitter come up and smash a home run out to left field. And then their number 9 hitter could do it to you too. So it's a good team. It's a really good team, and they're showing it again today. They beat Miami-Dade 10-0 yesterday. They haven't really been threatened too much in this tournament yet. Should they hang on to win, they would play Santa Fe College tomorrow at 4. A lot of game left still, but right now, if this score were to hold up, Chipola would play at 4 against Santa Fe.
That'll be the end of the day for Chris Katchmar. He pitches 2 2/3, gives up 7 runs, all earned on 6 hits. He struck out 4. He hit 1 batter, and he walked 1. That's going to be the day for him. We'll be right back with the announcement of the new Palm Beach pitcher. We're back here after the pitching change. The new pitcher for Palm Beach State is number 19, John Schneider. He comes in relief of Chris Katchmar. Final scoreline, 2 2/3 innings pitch, 6 hits, 7 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 hit batter.
Chipola's done that to a lot of pitchers. He's not the only one that's gotten rude treatment from the Chipola hitters. And again, they opposing pitchers 9.13 ERA. That's gone up against the Indians.
Yeah, especially after 7 runs in 3 innings.
That's a tough team. It's a tough team to compete with just up and down their lineup. They're so good. And then they also come at you with some pitchers that are Division I type pitchers. The guy that pitched yesterday was a transfer from Vanderbilt. So that's what they bring at you on a game-to-game basis.
Evan Steele.
Evan Steele, thank you. I thought the last name was Steele, but I didn't want to say it and be wrong. But I know he played at Vanderbilt. That pitch off the plate.
We'll see at least a couple of these players come draft time.
Yeah, they've got a few guys that'll get drafted. That pitch off the plate, and now a walk to the number 9 hitter.
That'll bring up Jose Caballero for the second time this inning.
Not good for the Panthers. You bring a reliever in with the intent to get you out of the inning, and instead Caballero comes to the plate, and there's just more hitters looming. Caballero, 392. 10 home runs, 16 doubles, 44 RBI, 696 slugging, 503 on base percentage.
First pitch taken, a curveball for a strike. So I think this is the third time while covering a Chipola game that I'm going to have to use the next inning in my scorecard. And if anybody's got a good idea to not have to do that, I think I'll just cross it off and write 3 instead of 4.
That's what you have to do. That's the only way to do it.
I think
you
I'm
have
going
to kick it
do
over,
that.
and then you just got to scratch them all off as you go. You just have to readjust the whole thing. That's the only way to do it.
Well, thanks, Chipola. Ruining my scorecard already.
They'll bat around. 0-2 to Caballero in the dirt, ball 1. Well, at this stage of the game, Palm Beach has to try to slow down the offense and then start to chip away. The problem is with Bowden Francis on the hill, that's going to be a tough thing to do. Sub-2 ERA. Runner goes, swing and a miss, strikeout.
That'll end the inning. Chipola takes a 6-run lead. After a 6-run third, we'll be right back. Palm Beach State will look to scavenge a few runs. We are back here in the bottom half of the third inning after that 6-run half inning by Chipola. Palm Beach will look to answer with a couple of their own. Leading off is the catcher, Benita Varela.
Varela, a 293 hitter, 4 home runs, 6 doubles, 26 RBI.
And there's a grounder over to Dawson and mishandled by Rivera, unable to scoop that ball cleanly.
It'll be an E6 on Dawson. He made a nice play. He rushed the throw a little bit, came up short, so he'll get the error on the throw.
Not the fastest runner on the base pass, so we could have took his time a little bit more.
He didn't really set his feet and step into the throw. We'll see how they officially score it. I don't see any way of getting around. Yes, and they do officially call it an E6.
Swinley Lint, one of the most entertaining names to say.
That's a great name. That is a fantastic baseball name. Love it.
There have been so many. Jagger McCoy.
It's a good name, yep.
I believe he pitched for St. John's.
Swindley Lint, that sounds like, an old ball player from like 1910 or something.
That's exactly what I was thinking. One of those guys that you'd see on Swingers in the Scott Van Pelt hour of Sports Center.
Yep.
Owen won the count. Varela over there on first. Lint trying to find a way to get him in position to score. Swung through that, and it got popped away from Guzman, and Varela will head over to second.
Oh, runner in scoring position now, and you have to take what they give you if you're Palm Beach right now. You can't get it all back in one swing, so you have to go station to station if that's what they're going to give you. And now it's imperative that they get that run home from second. You do not want to leave a runner in scoring position with no outs.
And there's a drive to center field. And Varela thought about going, but he turned back.
Well, he figured he'd try to draw a throw, see if it was offline and got away, and maybe he'd pick up a cheap base or two. But a good arm out there in center field.
That was Americon making the grab. First out of the inning. Balin Sparks comes up. He tripled in his first at bat, and he came in on a sacrifice fly by James Buckley. First pitch in there for a strike.
Well, Chipola's set themselves up in a good situation. They haven't used a lot of pitching. They had a day off on Saturday. They played Friday, Sunday, and now today. They haven't had to dip into the bullpen too much. So they're going to be very fresh. And it'll be interesting to see what strategy, if they were to hold on and win this game. Of course, that's a big if. A lot of game left. If they were to go on and win, what they would do against Santa Fe tomorrow. Would they throw their next in-line starter? Would they hold that? You'd imagine they would, and then bring back their number one, which I believe that's... Did Riley Cabral start the first game? Is that who started the first game?
I believe so. I believe it was Cabral.
And do you bring back Cabral, Wednesday? You would think so. You'd think you'd hang on to Cabral because you've got enough arms there left. But that's why Coach Jeff Johnson gets paid the big bucks. Make those decisions.
That pitch outside 1-2. So let me ask you this. Would it be an advantage, slight advantage for Santa Fe to go up against the team that's already in the championship game because of them possibly resting their starters?
If it wasn't Chipola, I would say maybe. But it's Chipola, so no. But they're not going to rest starters for sure. They're not going to rest starters. That's a fly ball. Should be pretty easily played for Americon. This time
Varela
they will
go.
tag. Americon, a strong arm. Not a strong enough arm to make that throw. That was out in the gap in right center. But yeah, to get back to your question, I think it could be advantageous depending on who you're playing and depending on what they decide to do. I think Jeff Johnson wants to win that game tomorrow. If Chipola hangs on to win this, I think he wants to win that. Santa Fe is the one that knocked him out last year.
That's true. That's a good point.
You don't want to put yourself if you don't have to. So, do I think he's going to pitch Riley Cabral? No. I think he'll save Cabral for Wednesday. I will be interested if they score a few more runs, if he doesn't pull Bowden Francis, and maybe try to get a couple innings out of him if he needs them on Wednesday. That might be something that Coach Jeff Johnson thinks about. Maybe you let him get through this inning. If you can put 2 or 3 more on the board, you pull Francis, bring in a reliever, and then save Francis for later. There's a lot of different ways that it could go. You may also say, you know what, I don't want to even mess around with it. I don't want to screw around. Let's leave Francis out there. Let's put this game away and win it. Again, that's why Coach Jeff Johnson makes the decisions, and I don't. So we'll see what direction he goes. Because with a lead, you have options, especially when you know you're in the championship. Sometimes having too many options is the coach's worst enemy, and you can outthink yourself at times. But Coach Jeff Johnson's been doing this a long time, and he's very good at it. So we'll have to see what direction. An advantage, I don't know. It's a great question though. It's a good thing to think about. It's sort of like in one of those NFL games late in the season, week 17, when a team's already clinched and they bench their starting quarterback and they bench, their running back sits out and their number one wide receiver and cornerback all sit out, and some people get ticked off because the other team, they have to win to get in, and yet the other team's benching players. But at the same time, you have to think about your team. So I think Jeff Johnson's going to think about his team. That was a foul ball, and it was. Yes. It was a delayed call.
Very delayed, but the right call.
I think he was looking at the home plate umpire to see if there was a call. Once there was no call from the home plate umpire, the first base umpire went ahead and made the call that it was foul. But he was waiting to see if the home plate umpire saw it differently than he did.
So 1-2 to Buckley.
So I think in a nutshell, Jeff Johnson's going to do whatever he thinks is best for his team and whatever can get them a championship. That's what he's going to do. And if that means bringing back his number one tomorrow, he'll do it. If he thinks that gives him the best opportunity to win an NJCAA Region 8 championship and go out to Grand Junction. And this is a team, they have the makeup to be really, really good out in Grand Junction.
Yes, they do.
Because that is a home run hitter's ballpark. See some of the Santa Fe Saints here in the stands down there taking in this game.
Oh, and a RBI single by Buckley. Chip into that lead a little bit. That'll bring Varela home.
That's a big thing, just anything for confidence.
1-0 to Morales. He comes on with Buckley on first. That pitch is low, 2-0 now. Morales looking to add on to this two-out rally. See if they can't chip into Chipola's lead anymore. And there's a swing over to Dawson at short. Fast runner, safe over there at first.
Dawson thought he had him by a half a step. It was close. I'm going to take a look at it here on the screen in a second. But I thought he beat it out. Looked like he beat it out at least.
It did. It did look like he beat it out.
The umpire said he beat it out, so that's what matters, right?
That's all that matters.
Now we'll see it right here. Yeah, I think he beat it out. There by a half a step. Of course, when you're a shortstop, you always think you throw him out. That's what shortstops do. All 2 outs, but Coach Jeff Johnson wants to walk out and talk to Bowden Francis and make sure that this doesn't go any further than 7-2. You just put 6 on the board. You don't want to give a bunch back to Palm Beach and give them confidence to get back into this game. Quick meeting from Coach Jeff Johnson. Now Bowden Francis ready to go.
He'll face third baseman Evan Morick. Mork grounded out to Dawson.
Mork's a 383 hitter.
Good hitter from the 4-hole.
Well, it's one of the guys you would want up in this situation. Pitch in there for a strike.
Good pitch by Francis to start off Mork. Mork's got an on-base percentage of .431. He's driven in 23 RBIs. That pitch.
He went around.
He went. 0-2 now to Mork. Oh, 2 men on, 2 outs. Chance for Palm Beach to bring in another run or two. They trail by 5. So every run counts at this point.
I was trying to get him to chase one down low, and he got him to on the second pitch. Went to it again. Wouldn't surprise me if he either threw him a high fastball right here or went back to that same pitch down in the dirt.
I was thinking high fastball.
He's got him looking low. See if he tries to throw one by him.
And driven into left
pulls
field.
Pulls his hands in and a base hit.
And runners on first and second, 7-3 now.
Really, really nice piece of hitting by Mork. That was a fastball inside, pulled his hands in, drove it out into left field, went with the pitch. Nice job by Mork. Keeps the rally going for Palm Beach, and now it's just a 4-run game.
That was Buckley who came in to score. Morales now at second. Mork takes Morales' spot at first. Derek Schwimmer. He walked in his first at bat. He's still second, but he fell off the bag. And he was tagged out by Dawson. Chipola's got a guy going out to the bullpen right now. See if they start getting some action up there. 0-1. And a base hit into right field.
Going to bring 1 run home.
And that'll make it first and third. 7-4 now.
We'll see if that's it for Bowden Francis. They're hitting him early in the counts, and they're hitting him even when they're down in the count. The last hit was 1-2. This one on 0-1. Well, he's not locating right now. Ball's staying up, and Palm Beach taking advantage of it. Palm Beach, not a power hitting team, but they are hitting with runners in scoring position, and that's all you need are singles. Especially, it's still early. It's the 3rd inning. You don't have to hit home runs yet to get back in this game. They're doing all this with 2 outs. They've gotten 3 home. They've cut into the lead. They've actually cut the lead in half with 6 coming in. Now just a 3-run lead for the Indians. Francis still out there on the mound. Well, Francis may get removed from the game early, but it may be because of performance and not to try to save him for the next game, as we were discussing a little bit earlier.
There's
Popped up.
High fly ball. Calling after everybody is Americon, and he'll make the grab. He'll stop the bleeding right there. Not before Palm Beach could score 3, cut that lead in half, like you said. We'll be right back in the top half of the 4th. Chipola now leads by 3.
Welcome back to Joker Marchant Stadium. Scott Jameson here with you at the FCSAA NJCAA Region 8 tournament. Chipola Indians coming to bat. They lead 7-4. Palm Beach scored 3 in the bottom of the third after Chipola put a 6 spot up. And that leaves us where we're at, 7-4. Jacob Silverstein, 371 hitter, will bat for Chipola. Waiting on deck is number 10, Andrew Bechtold. Quickly 2-0 to Silverstein. You do not want to put runners on in front of Bechtold and Rivera. 2-3-4 for Chipola. This is the winner's bracket game. These are the only two remaining unbeaten teams. That one's off the plate, ball 3. The winner will punch their ticket to the championship game on Wednesday. And the loser will still be alive in the tournament. They'll have to win a couple. That ball outside, ball 4. And Silverstein, 4-pitch walk, and now Bechtold with Rivera looming. The loser of this game will play Miami-Dade tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The winner will play Santa Fe College at 4 o'clock. The winner will have already clinched, breaking ball in their first strike, a spot in the championship. But what Tuesday's game could do for them, should they beat Santa Fe, then they would have to get beat twice on Wednesday by either Miami-Dade or whoever loses this game. A lot of different scenarios that could still play out. Another breaking pitch. That one misses. Ball 1. 1-1 to Andrew Bechtold. He's 0 for 2. Pitch in there for a strike. Now 1-2 to Bechtold. Bechtold 446 on the season, 11 home runs, 12 doubles, 58 RBI. Dangerous hitter, and then right behind him, Rivera. And a lot of that, well, one of the reasons I should say for that 446, that's inside corner, strike 3. Bechtold goes down looking. Big strikeout for Palm Beach. John Schneider in there pitching. Schneider from my neck of the woods, Clearwater Central Catholic High School. Grew up in St. Pete, so I know CCC very well. Now Rivera up with 1 out and a runner at first. Breaking ball. Catches the inside corner for a strike. You have to be careful with Rivera. You leave anything hanging and he will hit it out. Strike 2. Well, Rivera struck out his first 5 at-bats at the tournament. Looked uncomfortable at the plate. Has found his rhythm. Hit the longest home run of the tournament off the roof of the new clubhouse in right field. Outside, ball 1. Well, it's a good spot. You go 8 inches off the plate. See if maybe you get Rivera to roll one over. Or maybe you get a called strike 3. This umpire's been good about the corners, though. He's been consistent. And I'm not going to give that one. Runner goes. Past the diving first baseman. Silverstein will end up on third. Rivera at first. He has another hit. And now runners at first and third. So Rivera now 2 for 3. And Guzman will bat. Guzman today has reached twice. Singled to center and was hit by in the second, and was hit by a pitch in the third. Came around to score both times. First pitch outside. 1-0 to Guzman, 1 out, runners at first and third. Rivera, 2 hits. Chipola trying to add to their lead. Pitch looked low, but was called a strike. Guzman thought so too. Guzman, another one of those players with double-digit home runs. He has 11, also 11 doubles. Big rip, swings through it, strike 2. Beautiful day here in Lakeland at Joker Marchant Stadium for the FCSAA and JCAA Region 8 tournament. Winner of this tournament will head out to Grand Junction, Colorado for the JUCO World Series. If you've never been and your team wins, I would implore you to go. That pitch down, ball 2. It is an amazing experience. They get about 10 or 12,000 people at every game. They're installing a new video board as we speak. So it's going to make an amazing experience even better. The kids line up for hours after the games to get autographs. The whole town basically shuts down for everyone to go to JUCO. That's what they call. We're going to JUCO. I'll hear people all around town, and you're treated like royalty. The players are while they're there. They make baseball cards for all the players. The kids buy all the cards. That pitch up, ball 3. Close. Very close for Schneider. Full count, 1 out. Runners at the corners. Schneider ready from the stretch. Full count pitch, swing, and a miss. Ball in the dirt. First base occupied. He is out, and a big strikeout for Schneider. Well, he kept the ball down, and he got an aggressive swinger to take a cut at a pitch out of the zone. But he didn't give him an opportunity to drive that run in. Because if he walks him there, it's not the end of the world. You had an open base. You still would have a double play in order. So a good decision by Schneider to not throw a strike right there. You play to your strengths, and you play to the other hitter's weaknesses, and the weakness is that Guzman will swing at pitches out of the zone. Still first and third, 0-1 count from Schneider. Runner goes. Runner comes home. The throw. The throw gets away. The runner will go all the way to third, so they pull it off. You don't see that very often. He took off slow from first to second. They throw down. The runner immediately breaks from third. Chipola picks up a run. Well, sometimes you just got to get one any way you can. Jeff Johnson took advantage of the opportunity, and it pays off. Those plays don't always work out. It does there for Chipola. A nice job, nice call by Coach Jeff Johnson. Lead now 8-4, Chipola. Slow ground ball to third. Going to be a tough play. The throw across. Safe, and an RBI single for Brody Wofford. There's the speed that Chris was talking about earlier. He beats that one out. Chris will be back with us in a little bit. We're giving him a little bit of a break. I think he deserves it. I don't know if he's eaten all day, so we are encouraging him to do that on occasion. Got to get some grub, got to get some water. So he's recuperating, and then he'll be back. Marshall will be back as well. First pitch on the outside corner, a strike. Still 2 outs. Chipola's doing damage with 2 outs. Off the end of the bat to third. Step, throw, third out, but not before Chipola comes away with 2. We're headed to the bottom half of the 4th. The Indians lead the Panthers 9-4. You're watching the FCSAA tournament right here on YouTube.
We're back here in the bottom half of the fourth inning. Chipola added 2 to their run total. They now lead by 5. I'm back after my quick break for food.
Yes, you sound rejuvenated, Chris.
I feel rejuvenated. Thank you.
They've got great food.
They do.
Tell you what, a hospitality room is no joke. Flying Tiger staff, thank you.
We appreciate everything.
Absolutely.
that you guys have done for us.
Shannon and the whole crew here at Flying Tiger, amazing job. And then, of course, Bing Tyus, Bill Hamilton, Mike Matulia, Rick Hitt, the brain trust of the FCSAA. Just a lot of props to this tournament, what they put on. Swing and a miss. They'll have to complete the strikeout, and they do. But, yeah, a lot of credit to the staff here. Great concession stand for all the fans. Really, really nice park. Grounds crew, can't say enough about the grounds crew. They've kept this field to get played on as much as it has and to look like it does is pretty amazing, actually.
This is game 15 after 4 days.
Yeah, and the field looks, there's a few wear spots like there's going to be when you have players standing in the same spots or between home and the pitcher's mound because you've got the catchers trotting out.
And the mound. The mound is still in great condition.
Mound looks amazing. They're really getting the Tamps out there and doing a good job packing it down and keeping that mound clay on it. And same thing around home plate. That can get worn out too, but they're really getting those spots. No pitch. Bowden Francis. Umpire was not ready. And if the umpire's not ready, then nobody's ready. Now he's ready. Gives him the point.
Big cut.
Slider.
That was a great pitch by Bowden Francis.
Well, your team gives you back a couple more runs. You sort of get that confidence back. You get that swagger back to go back out there on the mound with a 5-run lead.
You can pitch your pitches, and your offense will still have your back. Did he go? No, he did not
go around. Umpire having to shield his eyes from the sun.
That's something I have noticed. It's a little tough to see when you're down that first base line, the way this field is set up.
Yeah, it is. That sun's just beating right in his eyes right now.
There's a grounder over to Dawson at short. Throw is made and good. That'll be the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Swinley Lint. 2 outs, nobody on. Lint flew out to center field. And his first at bat takes that pitch for a ball. 1-0 pitch. Lifted high to...
Way out of play.
It's going to be way out of play, yes. That drifted farther than I thought it would.
Yeah, me too. It looked like I didn't know if it was going to be playable, but it looked like it might be in the first few rows, and it ended up on the roof.
I was looking in that first 7 rows of seating over there, and it hit the roof.
Yeah, Lint lifted that one way out. 1-1 now.
That's inside for strike. Just catching that inner corner.
Well, now you can throw that slider away. You've thrown 2 pitches inside.
And he goes with that slider away.
Lint, yeah, got a piece of it. But, yeah, he did. You're right. He went with that slider. We'll see what he does here. If he goes back, tries to bust him back in, or if he throws that slider a little bit further out.
And
just goes with the fastball.
So
he went with the fastball outside.
It's a good idea. Lint thinking possibly a slider again. And you throw him the heater outside so he wouldn't be able to get to it. And another fastball down. That goes down the middle. Trey Dawson on the throw. Good play by Dawson.
Man, Dawson is smooth at shortstop. He just makes it look so easy.
So good defensively. That'll be 1-2-3 for the Panthers. We'll head to the top half of the 5th inning. Chipola leads 9-4. We are back here in the top half of the 5th inning. Chipola looking to add to their 5-run lead. Off the bat, the shortstop, Trey Dawson, he recorded the assists on the last 2 outs.
On his last at bat, he hit a bomb 2-out home run to left field that ended up against the concrete wall of the Corona Cabana out there in left.
That was a very deep home run.
And for Dawson, that was his 6th home run of the year. Dawson very smooth at shortstop and a good bat. Doesn't have the highest average, but does hit for some power. And you'll take that trade-off out of your number 8 hitter.
And he's hit on that one right on the wrist.
That's on his throwing wrist. He turned and his right wrist got hit. That's not good.
He looks to be okay. We'll see if he comes back in on defense.
Well, it's not going to hurt as much right now as it's going to in a few minutes, and then it's going to hurt even worse than that in an hour and probably tomorrow. Well, let's just hope there's no significant damage and just a bruise. It looks like he got hit on the outside of the wrist. He's pointing it out to the trainer right now. And like we did last game and I think a little bit this game, a lot of credit to the athletic trainers that go completely unnoticed but keep these guys in shape to be out here, take care of them. They do a lot of work, most of their work, in fact, before and after the games. And at night and when you're at the hotels, they're doing stuff until all hours of the night, getting guys ready for the next day.
And I'm sure if Trey Dawson can't continue on defense, Chipola's deep enough to where they can either bring in Cole McKissick, they could bring in Derek Everly, both freshman infielders who have contributed to this team.
Yeah, and they could move Caballero back over
to his natural position.
To shortstop and bring somebody in at second, which is possibly what may happen. Dawson's going to try everything he can to stay in the game.
Dawson, with that competitive nature, he doesn't want to give up his spot. Can't blame him for it, but if you're hurt, you're hurt. And the best thing when you're hurt is to get rest. So if he is too hurt to play,
well, you got to trust your teammates, and you've got to also realize that you're not out of it after this game. You've got to be able to come back in the next one, and you've got to do whatever the smart thing is. When you're a player, it's tough, and that's why you have coaches and you have athletic trainers. They're the ones that have to tell the players, because the players would play hurt all the time. You'd have guys out there dragging their broken legs around the field if they could, and that's exactly why you have athletic trainers and coaches and stuff that say, listen, we know you want to play. We appreciate it. We appreciate that you want to help us win, but in your best interest and in the team's best interest, we're going to ask that you sit. It doesn't appear that this is too significant of an injury. Ball 4. Now first and second for Chipola with the ever-dangerous Jose Caballero batting. Silverstein on deck, followed by Bechtold and Rivera. Murderer's row, if you will.
Oh, I like that.
Coming up to steal a term from the 27 Yankees. I don't know if they're the 27 Yankees. I'm probably getting carried away, but maybe in this year's
in the spirit of
Florida JUCO, since we are at a big league park and the Yankees play here. Well, at Henley Field, that was built back in the 20s, and some of the guys from Murderers Row actually played at Henley Field. Babe Ruth and Gehrig and them came and played some spring training games at Henley.
1-0 count to Caballero.
Well, getting behind in the count, not a good plan against Caballero. He doubled in his last at bat.
Takes that pitch outside corner, of course. Strike.
There is a run rule here that goes into effect once the postseason starts, and it carries over to the JUCO World Series. 10-run rule after 5 and 8 runs after 7. And that's for a couple of different reasons. For one, you want to try to stay on time with your games as much as possible. And two, you want to try to save pitching if you can. So, again, there are reasons behind it. It's not just because you don't want to hurt the other team's feelings by scoring too many runs. It does have an actual purpose. Caballero now behind in the count 1-2.
And we were thankful last night for the run rule. In the 7th inning, Chipola showed no signs of stopping on offense.
Well, there you go. Yeah, there's an example of the time.
And Caballero beats out that double play ball.
The fielder's choice in the book for Caballero. They got the lead runner. A good play by the third baseman. Caballero just too quick. It wasn't a real quick, clean exchange either by the third baseman, stepping on the bag and getting a throw. He didn't really plant, and he had to hesitate for a second before he did make the throw over to first base. And that hesitation cost him.
But like I was saying last night, Chipola was up 10-0 after the 7th inning, and it was getting to be 12:30 at night. We had been here since 10 a.m., just like today, and the day previous, and the day previous, and the day previous. And we were tired, working on 14 innings.
Yeah, it all sort of blends.
14 hours, I should say.
All sort of blends together at some point.
It does. It really does.
That's why I told you, any sort of criticism, which we all face when you do broadcasting, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Because A, they're sitting on their couch more than likely if they're criticizing you. And B, they haven't been going at it for 40 hours in the last 4 days doing these games. It's a heck of a lot harder than it seems.
It's a lot of fun, though.
It is. It's a blast. Breaking pitch for a strike. Now 0-2.
I was telling Marshall last night back in the hotel room, there's not much I'd rather be doing right now.
I'm with you, especially when the weather's nice. I agree.
Like, we're here calling baseball games, watching baseball.
That's big-time baseball games, too. This isn't some run-of-the-mill game. I mean, this is a really good league.
Good piece of hitting right there by Silverstein. That'll load the bases. Oh, no, bad base running here. And
Caballero went. And he, in his defense, the runner rounded third hard, and the third base coach didn't hold him up until he was about 12 feet. He almost reached out and touched him. That was really close to.
That could have been really bad. That could have been really bad.
He would have been out. I want to see that. Oh,
then
man.
both could have been out.
I want to see this play when he. I don't know if we're going to get to see it.
Oh, yep, there it is.
Oh, see, he did. The player actually reached out and grabbed the coach by the shirt to slow himself down. He could have been out doing that.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he reaches out and grabs a hold, sort of snags the coach's jacket so he can change directions. So interesting. No umpires saw that. Sort of used the coach to aid himself in slowing down. You don't see that all the time. So now runners at first and third with 2 outs.
And Andrew Bechtold up to bat.
Outside. Bechtold struck out looking in his last at bat.
0 for 2 today. That's bad news for Palm Beach because that means he's probably due. He's doing then some, according to his batting average. And he swings, fouls that one back over the roof. 1-1. Excuse me, 1-2 after that foul ball. And I was going to say Caballero actually almost passed Americon on the base pass. So if Americon would have been passed by Caballero, as that catch is made,
Caballero would be out.
Caballero.
Yeah, so.
Well, no, Americon would be out, and then Caballero would be off the bases.
True.
So that could have been potentially a double play. A catch made by Morales to end this inning. No runs scored, although Chipola did threaten. We'll be right back in the bottom half of the 5th. Chipola leads by 5. We are back here in the bottom half of the fifth. Joining me now, Marshall Watrous. We'd like to thank Scott Jamison for his time. We really appreciate him filling in. Balin Sparks grounds over to third base. That was Bechtold making the throw. 1 out away.
Very easy out right there as Balin Sparks hits it right over to Bechtold. As we have mentioned multiple times in this tournament, a transfer from University of Maryland.
That'll bring up James Buckley. Buckley is 1 for 1 with a sac fly today. One and one the count to Buckley now.
So, Chris, it really does seem like it's been a great game. Started off with Chipola up at 7-1 at one point, and then I saw, Palm Beach State come out at the bottom of the third and get 3 runs in.
Yeah, you've missed a good 4.5 innings. You had some business to attend to. All is forgiven. You're back here now, and you'll be back with us for the next 2 days. 3-1 now to Buckley. And he takes that pitch outside and low. That'll give him the walk. That'll put a man on first for Matt Morales. Bowden Francis still out there. For Chipola, we thought we might see a switch after that third inning. But not yet. Jeff Johnson has kept his pitcher out there. Pitch inside to Morales. Just misses his ribs.
That 89-mile-per-hour pitch is not one you want to take off the ribs.
It looks way faster when it's coming in that close. 1-0 the count to Morales. On deck, Evan Morick. That pitch outside. 2-0 now. Dawson goes out to talk to his pitcher. Giving him some words of encouragement. Buying some time for the bullpen. 2-0 now to Morales. And the winner of this game will take on Santa Fe tomorrow. That's a grounder up the middle, right past Francis. That'll put runners on first and second with only 1 out, with Evan Mort coming up to play.
And a great hit there by Morales, just chipping away a little bit out of time. Got a runner on first, now a runner on second. Getting closer to scoring position.
Scott said previously, you can't get it all in one pitch, especially now when you're down by 5. You literally cannot get it all in one pitch. You got to work counts, you got to get hits, you got to start off with singles and then take it from there. That pitch is by Guzman. That'll advance both runners into scoring position. Second and third now with only 1 out.
Just like you mentioned, Chris, just getting closer and closer to scoring position. So now each player at base closer to getting to home plate.
And Morick, just like that, finds himself with a great opportunity to cut this lead to 3. Time called. 1-0 the count to Morick. Derek Schwimmer on deck. Left-handed outfielder. That pitch fouled off back. That'll be on the roof. 1-1 now. Bowden Francis looking to get out of this inning without allowing any runs. It's going to be a tough task. That pitch inside corner for a strike.
1-2 count now for the third baseman from Virginia Beach. Again, that's Evan Mork up to bat.
And swung on, hit to center field. That'll be Americon on the play. Oh, diving play. And recognizing that from third base was James Buckley. That at first glance looked like it was going to be too shallow to score a run. But Buckley recognized that Americon was having trouble. And he came home. Cuts the lead to 4.
And Buckley was sitting there on third base just watching the whole time, getting set to run. So as soon as he caught that ball, Buckley took off and beat him to home plate. However, still a runner on second.
Runner on second, 2 outs for the right fielder, Derek Schwimmer. He's walked and he's gotten a single to right in his previous 2 at-bats. He's 1 RBI on the day. That pitch outside. That'll be 1-0. That pitch called a strike. 1-1 evens it up. Two one now.
Schwimmer, the lefty hitter, looking to make something happen here against Bowden Francis.
That pitch grounded over to Dawson. Dawson unable to make a play. It's one of the few mistakes we've seen from Dawson out there in the field. And that'll bring home a run. 9-6 now.
And that's Matt Morales there with the run. Great job there getting home, and it's really a three-run ball game here as we get a little meeting out on the mound for Chipola College.
And it looks like they might be bringing in a new pitcher. I believe they will. We'll be right back with the announcement. We're back here with a pitching change. Marshall, go ahead.
Coming in for Chipola College, the lefty, Ryan Schauger. That first pitch comes out, and that'll be called a strike against Joindrick Donchi. And Schauger is a sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, a graduate of Salem High School. So I'm sure he and Evan Morick from Palm Beach State probably played each other in high school, being that Morick is from Virginia Beach as well, as Donchi fouls that ball.
Counts 0-2 to Donchi. He's got Schwimmer over there on first from the air by Dawson. Pitch from Schauger. And that's in on the hands. Popped up. Calling for it is Caballero. And that'll end the inning. 2 runs scored by Palm Beach in that last inning. They cut the deficit to 3. We'll head to the top of the 6th, and Chipola will try to get back a couple of those runs. We'll be right back. We are back here in the top half of the 6th inning. Coming up for Chipola, the big hitter, first baseman Ronaldo Rivera. And right now, Polk State has the shift without really shifting. Over at second, Swinley Lint is playing about 10 or 15 feet behind the grass. I'm sure he's read the scouting report on Ronaldo Rivera. If he hasn't, he's definitely been reminded by his coaches. Ronaldo Rivera has tremendous power to the right side of the field.
I think that's an understatement, Chris.
I agree, but that's the best word I could have come up with in that 10 seconds that I was thinking of the statement. 2-2 now.
And Rivera, we mentioned, is the largest player here this tournament. He's listed at 6'6", 250.
He's a big dude. There's a high fly ball. That'll go foul.
That last pitch clocked in at 87 miles per hour.
And that pitch low.
Full count now here for Rivera.
Ronaldo Rivera, other than that really long home run in last night's game, he's underperformed. He struck out, I believe, 6 times in this tournament. And there's a big hit to right field. Just as I say that, there is a extra base hit, and that'll go out of play. hopped over the fence after hitting the ground, so that'll be a ground rule double. First ground rule double we have seen here at this tournament. We've seen a lot. We've seen a mammoth grand slam. We've seen a walk-off hit. We've seen a broken aluminum bat. We've seen people almost get murdered by foul balls. We've seen a foul ball come up pretty close to us here and rattle in the pipes that are up here on top on the underbelly of the roof.
Well, with about 50 hours of baseball in 3 days, you're expected to see all of that.
Definitely.
We were talking about the broken aluminum bat before the game, how rare that is. You hardly see something like that happen, but been a lot of baseball out here and just must have hit it the right spot.
And something while you were gone, Marshall, we saw a near impeccable inning. We saw, who was it? It was not Santa Fe. It was Miami-Dade's pitcher, Joshua Lopez. I believe it was the fourth inning. He got 3 strikeouts on 10 pitches.
Wow.
3 strikeouts, 10 pitches to strike out the side.
You don't always hear that. That's insane.
I was very excited. I was very disappointed that I wasn't able to see an impeccable inning. But maybe sometime.
So some good pitching in the previous game. The count now 1-2 after Guzman fouls that ball.
1-2 count now to Guzman. He's got Rivera over there all by his lonesome on second base.
So, Chris, do you want to explain a little bit more on how Rivera got to second base?
He hit a very long ball over to right field, and it popped up over the fence after hitting the ground, and by rule, that is a ground rule double. If it goes out of play after being in play, after being ruled in play, then it's a ground rule double. Brody Wofford comes up, 1 out, man on second after the Guzman strikeout. First pitch taken for a ball, 1-0, 72-mile-an-hour curveball. The wind is blowing left to right now. It's been changing all day long. There's been no wind. There's been a lot of wind. There's a hard hit ball. That will get over the head of Donchi. Pass running second is Wofford. He'll go to third, and he's in there for a triple. Ronaldo Rivera scores from second, and Brody Wofford makes this a 4-run ball game. That was a very hard hit ball to center field. Donchi misread that. He ran in a couple steps and then ran back. And by then it was too late. It had already gotten over his head. And that gave Brody Wofford an opportunity for a RBI triple.
As we see a replay of that, Wofford running over to third. He dives in, and he is called safe.
That pitch taken for a strike. Apologize that was a ball. 1-0. No, it was a strike. I was right. 0-2 now.
I was going to say, I thought I heard the umpire call strike.
I thought
right
I did too. And I looked at the scoreboard and it said 1-0. Now it is 0-2. Keeping himself alive is Taquan White over there at the plate. He has Wofford, Speedy Wofford, over there on third. So a fly ball will likely score him. As well a base hit.
And John Schneider from Clearwater Central Catholic, located by Clearwater Beach in Pinellas County.
He's a local guy for us. Clearwater CCC, as we call it, down in Pinellas County. About 15 minutes from my house.
Some great football, baseball, and basketball players coming out of that school.
It is a private school. That pitch taken for a ball. 2-2.
I know Riley Cooper, the receiver in the NFL, actually played baseball there and had a very successful baseball career at CCC.
Riley Cooper now with the Bucks. There's a base hit for Taquan White. That'll score Wofford. And there's an RBI single for Taquan White. That'll bring up Trey Dawson. He hit that big home run in the third inning, a 3-run bomb. So Chipola leads by 5 now. Sorry, Marshall, go ahead.
I was going to say, still only one out here, and with Chipola, it's so tough to close out an inning with them.
Everybody on their lineup can hit. And looking to bring in a new pitcher, Palm Beach State. We'll be right back with the announcement. We are back here after that pitching change. Taking over the pitching for Palm Beach State is number 27, Brock Minnick. That first pitch from Minnick outside, 1-0. Taquan White over there on first. Trey Dawson at the plate. That pitch low as well. 2-0.
We saw an impressive game last night pitched by Kyle Farjad. They stayed undefeated as they upset Santa Fe College.
Very good game by Farjad.
That game went 11 innings. 2-1 count now for Trey Dawson at bat.
And the runner's going. Taquan White off with that pitch. Fouled off by Dawson. Looked like Taquan White would have made that. 2-2 the count to Dawson. He's still got White there as he heads back to first.
And Brock Minnick Listed at 6'6", 220. He's the same height as Ronaldo Rivera, who we've talked about his size all tournament. However, just 30 pounds less.
And swing and a miss. Strike 3. That'll retire Dawson.
And a great job by Minnick coming in and getting a strikeout right away. That's a way to get the juices flowing, get some confidence in there.
Edmund Americon. He comes on. Taquan White still over there.
And that pitch clocked in at 89 miles per hour. That'll be called a ball for Edmund Americon. Taquan White creeping away from first. Strike called.
1-1 the count.
That pitch thrown outside the strike zone, so now a 2-1 count for Edmund Americon.
Takes that pitch outside. 3-1 the count now to Americon. And strike 2, 3-2 full count.
Taquan White still on first and 2 outs here, so Edmond Americon trying to get out of this.
And off with the pitch was Taquan White, and that'll be good play. That's a great play. That was Swinley Lynn who ran to his left, and good awareness by the pitcher Brock Minnick to run over to first and get that tag at first to retire Americon. Chipola leads 11-6 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back. We're back here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Chipola leads 11-6. They lead by 5. Leading off for Palm Beach, the designated hitter, Drexler McKay. Swinging and missing that first pitch. 0-1.
And McKay came in last night as a pinch hitter and did a great job. I remember he got a big double that got a run in.
Oh, 2 now to McKay. He's gone 0 for 2 today. Takes that pitch outside corner for a strike. That'll be the end of the at-bat.
Strike.
That'll bring out Benito Varela. Varela reached on an error and grounded out to short. And big cut and missed. He was trying to hit that over the scoreboard. Maybe into the osprey nest over there on top of the light poles. Unsuccessfully, I might add. And swung on, fouled back into the netting. 0-2 now to Varela. That shade in between the mound and the plate is really annoying for hitters because it comes from seeing that ball to not seeing that ball to that ball being passed to you, and that's a strike. That's strike 3 for Varela as he cut and missed at that ball in the dirt.
And 2 quick outs. Ryan Schauger doing a good job. As you were mentioning that shade, it's also probably especially tough as Schauger's a lefty hiding that ball and bringing the heat in. He's been pitching around high 80s.
And that shade makes breaking balls almost unhittable. And there's a line drive into left and foul. Big hit by Swinley Lint, the second baseman for Palm Beach. That's just going to be a normal strike on the scoreboard. Oh, 0-1 the count now to Lint. Bases are clear. Swung on and miss. Strike 2.
Schauger looking to strike out the side here. 0-2 count with 2 outs.
And foul tip. Out. And I think that was it. I think that was an impeccable inning.
I was going to say, whoever was on Miami-Dade who threw that inning, he might have just gotten topped there by Schauger.
I think that was an impeccable inning. If my scorecard is correct, I'll have to run and take a quick look. But I think I've seen it. We'll be right back. I'll give you an update in a second. We're back at the top half of the 7th, and I got some news for you, folks. It was an impeccable inning on the part of Ryan Schauger. 3 pitches thrown to each batter, all of them strikes, all strikeouts, 9 pitches in total in that inning.
What an impressive performance from Schauger, the sophomore from Virginia Beach.
And that's a close play at first. It looked like to me that Caballero beat that out. It was very close. Umpire says no. That's all that matters at this point.
Here's a quick replay of it. And he is called out.
So I was mentioning it with Scott Jamieson earlier in this game. Joshua Lopez in the previous game for Miami-Dade was extremely close to an impeccable inning. He pitched 10 through 10 pitches and recorded all strikeouts. I can now cross that off my bucket list. I'm genuinely excited about that. That was the best inning I've seen, obviously. 9 pitches, 3 strikeouts.
Add that to the list of wild things we have seen this weekend in baseball.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of my favorite things to talk about from here on out. I've always wanted to at least watch one live, whether it be on TV or live at a ballpark. I've never seen it until now.
So you're saying that was more impressive than the Rivera Grand Slam last night?
No, that was not as impressive as the
Okay, I'm just
Rivera
making sure.
Grand Slam.
Two great plays.
But I'm never going to forget that. Ryan Schauger and Ronaldo Rivera, you guys have made some memorable moments. That ground ball to Morales. Morales unable to get that ball out of his glove, so it'll be a infield hit for Jacob Silverstein. That'll be a man on first, 1 out. Andrew Bechtold comes up. And that shade is past the mound now. So the batters will have a good view. Jacob Silverstein able to steal second base. That was a hit and run that Andrew Bechtold couldn't get a hold of.
And a great job by Lint to back up behind Morales, who missed that ball so it didn't roll into the outfield.
Count will be 0-1 to Bechtold. Like I said, that shade no longer affecting the hitters as it is past the mound ever so slightly. And a base hit up the middle for Bechtold. And that will score Silverstein. No play at the plate. And that will put Chipola up by 6.
And a great job by Bechtold getting his man home. That was Silverstein who scored the run.
Ronaldo Rivera up. Big first baseman. Big power lefty. And the owner of the most impressive home run I've ever seen. That wind is gusting out there from left to right now. First pitch fouled off by Rivera. 0-1 count to him. He's got Bechtold over there on second base. And good check by Rivera, able to lay off that pitch outside. Evens up the count at 1-1. That pitch outside as well. That looked like A two-seam fastball that drifted on the outside of the strike zone. 2-1 now to Rivera. Bechtold on first, 1 out. And Bechtold's off with the pitch. That pitch is inside. Bechtold will make it in safely without a throw. Andrew Bechtold has a stolen base. And Rivera now is a man in scoring position. A 3-1 count. Andrew Bechtold now at second. That pitch called the ball. Rivera will draw the walk. And now bases. Runner on first and second base now. That'll bring up Max Guzman. He singled. He's been hit by a pitch, and he struck out. He struck out twice, actually. And it looks like that's the end of the day for Brock Minnick. Palm Beach will go to the bullpen. We'll be right back with the announcement of the new pitcher. We're back here in the top half of the seventh inning. The new pitcher for Palm Beach State is number 15, Kyle McMullen. He's a freshman right-handed pitcher. out of Jupiter, Florida. A lot of players on this Palm Beach team from Jupiter. Not the planet, but the city.
Thank you for the clarification, Chris. I was a little confused there.
I figured. 2-0 count to Max Guzman. You got runners on first and second. One out. There's a fly ball to deep right. And that is gone. Max Guzman has hit a 3-run shot, the second 3-run shot of the day for Chipola. And as things stand right now, if Palm Beach can't score in the latter half of this inning, the game will be over. Chipola would have their second straight 8-run rule after 7. Even though they did have 10, technically it's an 8-run rule because it was after 7 last night. They lead by 9. That was a huge shot. That hit the light pole out there just to the left of Margaritaville.
And Chipola, once they get started, they're rolling. They're hard to stop. You can't give them any kind of momentum, not even an inch.
Not only do you have to beat this team once, you have to beat them twice.
That's the scary part. And how Santa Fe did it last year is really something else. As Santa Fe last year.
Santa Fe beat them once. Chipola had a loss earlier in the tournament.
That's right.
Chipola beat Santa Fe.
Once
and then
as
Santa
well.
Fe beat them back in the championship game. So, Chipola has impressed me so much in this tournament. As has Palm Beach State, to be fair to them. But Chipola has now put up 15 runs on a team that we thought had some of the best pitching in this tournament. Their starter, Chris Kochmar, was one of the better pitchers in the regular season, and he got manhandled by this Chipola lineup. He gave up 7 runs, all earned, in 2 2/3 innings.
And Brody Wofford gets a walk there. But yeah, Chris, it really is surprising to show because Palm Beach State, the only team in this tournament who is undefeated right now. So,
other than Chipola.
Yeah, so that's the scary part right there. That supposedly, just based off of that, the team who's undefeated, going against the undefeated, is getting manhandled.
And there's a drive to center field. Donchi again comes forward and has to run back. That's the second time we've seen him do that today. This time it doesn't go over his head. He's able to get back and grab that ball.
And Wofford on that last one was creeping a little bit closer to second than usual due to that last drop out there by Donchi. So Wofford makes his way back to first, and we have 2 outs here as Trey Dawson is at bat.
Trey Dawson, he hit the other 3-run shot back in the 3rd inning. In that inning, Chipola brought 10 men to the plate. 10 men to the plate and scored 6. That means 4 men who went up to bat for Chipola did not score out of the 10. There's a foul tip back. 1-1. One pitch to Dawson. That pitch in the dirt. Watford will take second without a throw.
Edmund Americon on deck for Santa Fe. Excuse me, for Chipola College. Got my games confused there. And we've got a 2-1 count here for Trey Dawson with a man on second.
So tomorrow, if this stands, the games will be Santa Fe versus Chipola and Palm Beach against Miami-Dade.
And you can just tell in the body language of both of these dugouts here. You see Chipola, all the players up on the fence. You see Palm Beach State, all the players sitting down under the dugout, just not happy as Brody Wofford gets a run.
Comes around to score on that base hit by Trey Dawson. Another RBI for Dawson. He's got 5 on the day.
There's a stat for you. Edmund American up the bat with Trey Dawson on first.
Chipola leads by 10 in the top half of the 7th inning. 2 outs, man on first for American. The scoreboard out there says 2-2, but it's an 0-0 count, and they fixed it. Pitch taken high for ball 0-1.
And Chris, last night Chipola took on an undefeated team, that being Miami-Dade, and they got a run rule called, and the game got called early on an undefeated team. And this Miami-Dade team, they're no walk in the park either. They had a win today against State College of Florida. So it really is who's gonna take out Chipola is the real question.
That pitch in the dirt blocked by Varela. This is not an elimination game. Both teams will move on after this, but the winner, which if the score holds, will be Chipola. They will be playing in the championship game. They will have an opportunity in the championship game. That ball fouled. 2-2 the count now. And Palm Beach is nowhere out of this tournament. They can put it together, play tomorrow. If they're able to beat Miami-Dade, then they'll take on Santa Fe. That's a base hit. Miscommunication there. First and third now. And it looks like Buckley might be hurt out there in left field. Chipola's third base coach calling for the trainer. It looks like he's holding his shoulder. Can we take a look at that real quick? Here's a quick look at that play. Let's see if Buckley landed awkwardly. Oh, that wasn't Buckley. That was Morales. No, that was Morick. That was Evan Morick out there. He's being looked at by the trainer.
It looked like he landed on his hip. However, looks like something wrong with his arm is what he's grabbing.
Well,
he's going to stay out there.
There's dirt picked up near that left field line. I think his elbow caught into there. And I think he might have hurt his shoulder. They're still out there talking. They're going to bring in a new pitcher, I believe. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the announcements. We are back here after the pitching change, taking over on the mound, number 24, Jesus Hernandez for Palm Beach State. At the plate right now is Jose Caballero. Caballero is 1 for 4. Excuse me, 1 for 5 on the day. He did reach on a fielder's choice. Second time at bat this inning. I've already had to cross out the numbers on my columns once for Chipola. So I'm going to have to do that one more time. And there's a high pop-up. That'll drift back foul. Lands straight on the roof. Big thud. 3-1 count to Caballero. Chipola, as is, leads by 10. And that pitch high and tight to Caballero. He draws the walk. That will load the bases.
And Caballero, a great player himself, just overlooked because such depth on this Chipola team.
Caballero last year was the shortstop for Chipola, but because of the amazing defense by Trey Dawson, he had to take a move over to second. That just shows you how good Dawson is, because Caballero, an amazing defensive player, even better offensive player, bats .392 for the season, on-base percentage over 500. And slugging percentage at just under 700. That's amazing for a middle infielder.
That sure is. And now we have a 2-0 count here. Jacob Silverstein trying to get some runners home. Obviously 2 outs here. After him would be Bechtold and then Rivera. So Silverstein, the lefty hitter.
Pitch called a strike. 2-1 now. Also, Silverstein's second time up this inning, he had an infield hit in his first at bat of this inning. Stole a base, scored. A pitch outside, 3-1.
So what's Silverstein doing here? Swinging, or is he just gonna wait and get a run?
If he likes the pitch, he'll swing.
Can go up.
If he likes the pitch, he'll swing. If he doesn't like the pitch, he'll take it. He liked the pitch, and he got it for a hit. That'll bring in 1 and a throw the plate, safe. That was Americon following up.
And again, runners on first and second. And great hustle there to get 2 runs as Bechtold comes up.
18-6.
Bechtold, the former Maryland Terrapin.
And Bechtold, also his second at-bat of the inning.
Chris, how often do you see a game with 18 runs in it?
Not very often. Not very often at all. Even less often do you see a team bat around the order twice in one game. I've had to cross out my columns twice.
That's got to be tough to score keep on, for sure.
It's not easy. I'll tell you that.
So Bechtold in the hole, 0-2.
0-2 the count to Bechtold. Bases loaded. Runners on first and second. That pitch inside in the dirt. 1-2. wind's starting to gust. I see that flagpole moving. There's a high fly ball, center field. There to make the catch is Donchi, and that will end the inning. But not before Chipola scores 7, brings 10 men up to the plate. I'm sorry, brings 12 men up to the plate. They leave 2 on, but they score 7. 18-6. Chipola leads. We'll be right back in the bottom half of the 7th. Palm Beach must score 3 runs in this inning if they want to keep this game going. We're back here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Correction, I claim that Palm Beach needs to score 3 runs to keep this game going. They actually need to score 5. It's 8 runs after 7. They trail by 12. So they're able to score 5 here. Cut it to 7. Keep this game alive.
We'll see if Schauger can do what he did last time. Junior Harding. See if he can match Schauger. How Schauger in 9 pitches got 3 strikeouts.
Pitch taken for a strike. 0-2 to the pinch hitter, Jersey Cecilia.
How about Junior Harding? That last pitch clocked in at 95 miles per hour.
And he strikes out Cecilia. That's 1 away.
And Junior Harding from Cambridge, Maryland.
James Buckley comes back on. He walked and scored in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. He also had a hit, an RBI, and a sac fly for an RBI. So he scored 2 runs and driven in 2. He's been one of the most productive hitters for Palm Beach today.
Again, clocked at 95 miles per hour is Junior Harding.
He's got a good arm. Not really a save situation at this point. One and 1 to Buckley. And that pitch inside as well. That one also clocked 95. So Buckley has seen 2 straight pitches inches away from going 95 miles an hour.
And Junior Harding, very consistent with that speed. That's not something you see every day. It's one of the faster pitchers we've seen here.
And swing and a miss. Buckley's out on strike, so 2 strikeouts to start off the inning. And we're 1 out away from this being over. That'll bring up another pinch hitter, Ricky Gonzalez. He takes over for Matt Morales today. That pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. Guzman over there practically doing a split. That pitch taken high, 1-1. Still thrown consistently at 95. Junior Harding showing he's got some power in that arm.
Harding with a lot of control over the ball coming from the mound.
That pitch taken in there for a strike.
So we're 1 strike away from this ball game being over. As we mentioned, after the 7th, it's a 8-run call.
And that pitch is fouled back into the netting right by the on-deck circle. Evan Moore picks it up, tosses it to his dugout, and they put it in a bucket. 1-2 to Ricky Gonzalez from Junior Harding. We're 1 pitch away. And that pitch is high. Throwing the off speed, switching up from, I think, 10 straight 95-mile-an-hour pitches to 80. That's a big difference.
And a lot of scouts here with their radar guns out as they prepare for Junior Harding to throw that pitch out.
That pitch high. 1-1. You see the clay coming out of Guzman's mitt behind the plate. You see that for a lot from a catcher, but I feel like it's a little bit more emphasized right now with that radar gun reading at 95. And that pitch high as well. That's a walk. Ricky Gonzalez draws the walk, earns the free base. That'll bring up Evan Morick, the third baseman. Seems to be okay after that possible arm injury out in left field. That'll definitely have to be something that the grounds crew takes a look at, because I can still see that little bit of a divot there in left field. Don't want anybody to roll their ankle in it. That pitch taken for a strike, 0-1. That pitch swung on, missed. 0-2. We're 1 strike away again. And I'm thinking fastball here to end it off. And that's the game. Fastball on the outside corner called for a strike. That'll be the game. Chipola wins by 12, 18-6 after 7 innings. Another dominant showing by the Chipola College Indians. They beat Palm Beach State in Game 3 of today. Chipola will take on Santa Fe tomorrow. And Palm Beach will go on to take on Miami-Dade. Chipola has reserved their spot in the championship game. The games tomorrow will be at 1 and 4. Be sure to tune in. Marshall and I will be here for the FCSAA Region 8 State Baseball Tournament. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for Scott Jameson for filling in. Thank you for Kelly Warren, David Gill, everybody at the FCSAA for making this all possible. Thank you for the viewers for tuning in. We'll be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Be sure to tune in.